My guest isn't your average fighter. He's a father of 6, a man of God, and a smiling assassin in the Octagon.
Alvey! People ask, why do you smile so much? I say, Google my wife.
Come on down. Where joy meets grit and where black eyes just might come from a Bible verse.
I am jazzed up after that.
Thank you for getting me here!
I will be the best tool for the good Lord that I can be. We all have duties, and our duty as men is to protect and provide.
I teach my kids just not to start fights. They're allowed to finish a fight as long as they weren't the one that started it.
Yeah, I punch people, but she makes it happen.
The woman comes first. The girl comes first. My wife is right there with me. I wouldn't have had the career if not for her.
If I'm not busy, I'm not doing something right.
I know the good Lord's got my back.
We're talking faith, family, freedom, and fists. Let's get it on.
We the people. Why you quiet? It's time to stand up for the truth. And they coming for our kids, so who gon' stand up for the youth? Ay, and we know we win because Yeshua is the proof. Ay, we the people like Gates Garcia, so that's no excuse.
Today on We the People, we step inside the cage. But we're not just throwing punches. We're talking faith, family, freedom, and fists. My guest isn't your average fighter. He's a father of 6, a man of God, and a smiling assassin in the Octagon. Smilen Sam Alvey has bled for this country's favorite combat sport, laughed through the pain, and built a life that punches way above its weight class. He's been the world karate champion twice. He's taken on legends in the UFC, and now he's teaching men how to lead at home, in business, and in life. But here's the thing. While some people fight for attention, Sam fights for something far greater, for his marriage, for his kids, for the kind of masculinity our culture is desperate to erase, the kind that protects, provides, and prays. We'll talk about what it means to be a warrior with a servant's heart, how to raise strong kids in a soft world, and what it actually feels like to stare down another man who wants to rip your head off and smile right back. So buckle up. This isn't just fight night. This is We the People with Smilen Sam Alvey, where joy meets grit and where black eyes just might come from a Bible verse. And today, it's my turn to throw the punches. Let's get it on. What's up, Sam?
Hey, how you doing, man? I am jazzed up after that. Ooh.
Well, man, we were going to do this one in person, but I'd rather look at you through a screen than sit across the table from you. So
hey, I only fight if I'm getting paid. You'd have nothing to worry about from me.
I love that, man. All right, look, we're going to cover a lot, but I have got to jump right into the Octagon. I want to know what it actually feels like to fight, like mentally, physically. You literally have to be a controlled lunatic. So put us in your head, in your body, in your soul when the ref says fight.
You know, I do it all day, every day. It is what some people go to the office and they're accountants, or they go to the fields and they're miners. They do it if they've got to do it. I go to the gym every day for 6 to 8 hours every day of the week. So when the bell rings, I am at home. It just feels like what I'm supposed to do. The real feeling comes after you get that hand raised. When the fight's over, that's where you feel everything. That's the pain and the joy. Like during the fight, you don't feel, like physically, you don't feel anything. The adrenaline is a hell of a drug, and it is raging through you. But as soon as that final bell rings, you feel everything that happened to you, the relief of the fight being over washes upon you, and the joy of victory is just there for you.
Yeah, I was going to ask you when the pain sets in, because I've heard a number of fighters say the fight's almost painless, and then it's like, when it's all over, it just comes crashing down.
As soon as that final bell rings, everything hurts. I mean, before you leave the pit or the cage or the ring, that pain hurts.
So, all fighters have a nickname, and 99% of them are, boisterous or intimidating. Smilen Sam Alvey. I got to hear the background on how you got this nickname.
Yeah, so I'm a happy guy. I always have been. The good Lord's always been in my corner. There's never been anything to really, be frumpy about. And I was a big WWE fan. I still am, but it was like, that's what I wanted to do. And I started fighting, and it was working out all right. It's all right, well, I should have a name. So, if I get big enough fighting, the WWE will want me. And so we were just running through names. And it was my dad that said it first. We were sitting at the breakfast nook back home. And he said, well, what about about Smilen Sam. I said, ooh, I like it. But we have to, I'm an older millennial, so, everything was, if it was extreme, it wasn't EX, it was a big capital X. So I wanted the apostrophe N instead of and or ing. I want it to be a little different, so it's Smilen Sam. It was before social media, so now it's harder to find because nobody knows how to spell it, but they get to it eventually.
Well, your opponents, they may not know how to spell it, but they know how to feel it. And you've kept that smile even in some of the most brutal slugfests. So I'm assuming this was sort of always your natural demeanor, but how did this become sort of a mindset strategy? How do you balance being joyful with violence that comes with the sport of UFC and karate? And I sort of see it as symbolic for life, Sam. We get punched, we get knocked down. We might not be able to always defend against the environment that is being placed upon us, but we can definitely control how we react to it and how we weather our environments. And of all the fighters I've seen, you seem to do that the best.
I wasn't meant to be a fighter. I was a band nerd growing up. I wasn't particularly, I was unathletic. I wasn't something I was supposed to do. And the good Lord, said, you're going to do this. Give it a shot. I said, okay. So I gave it a shot, and I turned out I hit pretty hard, and I can get hit pretty hard, and I keep ticking, and people enjoy watching it. And I turned it into a career. So the smile was never forced. Like, I never had to amp myself up for it. I just found a way. I get to travel the world. I get to do what I absolutely love, and I get to get paid to do it. Why any athlete would be, mean and angry walking to that cage or octagon or pit, is beyond me. The people are paying to watch us do something we would do for free, and we're getting paid for it. It's just, every moment I get to be in front of the camera doing what I would be doing. It's a reason to smile, and I just let it shine.
Hey guys, it's Gates. Thanks for tuning in. I'm asking you to like, share, and subscribe to the show. I hear that all the time when I watch and listen to podcasts. And now that I have a show, I know the difference that it makes. It really does boost us in the algorithm. And the better we do in the algorithm, the better guests we're going to get, the better content we're going to be able to produce. This show is not mine, it's yours. So in a way, you're helping yourself. So please like, share, and subscribe, and God bless. So Sam, it's almost like reverse psychology. I mean, you come from a sport where trash talking is probably bigger than any other sport. So I have to ask, does the smile piss people off, your opponents?
You know how many times I've heard, I'm going to punch his teeth out. I'm going to give him a reason not smiling. And we're saying, oh, you're welcome to try. I've lost before, and I'm still smiling at the end. Y'all try and punch me. You try and knock that smile off. It's not going to happen. But it is, I've been told that it bothers people. Like they don't know how to react to it.
So as someone who's probably the best sportsman in the sport, and I'm a huge fan of sportsmanship, but something about fighting kind of pisses me off. I hate the glove tap before the match. And you already tap gloves when the referee brings you to the center of the ring, but these guys are tapping at the beginning of the first round, the second round, the third round. It's so played out, and I hate it. Where are you on this sort of let's glove tap before every round? I'm
right there with you. I make video after video say, quit touching gloves. Before the fight and after the fight, I'll hug you, I'll kiss you, I'll do whatever you want. But the fight is on. That does nothing. That is not a sign of respect. That's a waste of moments. That's where I could be, trying to get to the center of the cage. And in the UFC, now Karate Combat, everyone offers and I shake it off every time. And the announcers always get a kick out of that because I'm Smilen Sam. I should want to do everything that's nice. It's like, no, for 15 minutes, if you die, I win twice as much money. So for 15 minutes, I'll smile, but it's just really, I'm trying to hit you real hard. And that's kind of my goal.
Oh, it's so refreshing to hear that. The glove tap, I'm over it.
I teach, and all my students, everyone I teach in person, I'll go for the glove tap, and if they reach back, I sucker punch them every time. I said, they don't. There is no reason for that.
I've seen it happen. You watch these YouTube videos where the guy goes for the glove tap and the other guy just pops him. So your sport probably has bigger egos than any other sport. We've talked about the trash talking. We've talked about the mentality that it takes to get in there. But is there a more humbling thing than getting knocked out mano a mano in front of a crowd of thousands? Talk to me about humility.
Yeah, a little saying I've always said is the world would be a better place if everyone got punched in the face. If every politician was forced to box one time, we would have better politicians.
Wouldn't be very good boxing matches.
Yes, it would be, just swinging for that. It doesn't have to be a good punch, just get hit once. To have that realization that somebody could, if they wanted to, take you out of this world forever. It puts a different perspective on it. If that ref wasn't there to pull him off my neck, if that would, it is a humbling experience, and to have it done in front of thousands doesn't help anything. But just even if you meet the guys in the practice room, that'll never be in front of thousands. That'll just fight maybe the local scene or maybe just practices. They are some of the nicest people in the world because they truly know. So, in the grand scheme of things, I'm nothing. In the grand scheme of things, that guy could take me out if he wanted to. In the grand scheme of things, I should be a nicer guy because I don't want that to be the case. You never know if it's going to be the angry looking guy or the smiling guy that's able to do that to me. But I'm going to be a nicer guy because of it.
So nothing makes you smile more than your family and having gotten to know you. You've got 6 kids, one by foster and eventually adoption. I think that is just so admirable. A wife who is also your manager, not to mention Smilen, Sam. I know why you're smiling. She's won America's Next Top Model. She's been in CoverGirl commercials. That's the biggest I've ever seen your smile right there. Most people come home after a 9 to 5. You go home cut up, bruised, exhausted, smiling. How does your wife feel about your fight life, and how do you explain your job to your kids? How do they react when they see dad step into a cage?
So my kids have watched every fight I've ever done. My kids have been around the world watching me in person. I remember my second oldest, he was due October 12th. He wasn't coming, but we had to get him out because 2 weeks later I was going to Australia and we needed to get him a passport. So we induced labor on his due date so we could get a passport. So 2 weeks old, he traveled around the world. My kids have been to Brazil, Poland, just all over the place. And they love it. They love what I do. And if ever I lose, I'll never make an excuse, but I won't stop anybody else from making an excuse for me. My kids have every excuse in the world as soon as if ever that loss happens. But the victory, there is not a better feeling in the world than watching my kids ringside just losing it because I just did what I did. They are more proud of me than they don't even know what the word means yet. My wife is right there with me. She not only is manager, she is my chief corner. She has wrapped my hands. I've had over 80 fights. She's been in the corner of each and every one of them. I wouldn't have had the career if not for her. She is a vital instrument to my success, and I've been blessed with her. And that she's really hot doesn't hurt anything. It just makes me want to fight all that much harder. And And she always says, if he loses, it's because he didn't listen to me. So yeah, she's got that on me too. Luckily, most of what I do is winning, especially as of late. But she loves the experience. She loves traveling almost as much as I do.
It's never the wife's fault, whether it's fighting, our job, at home, anything. Are you encouraging your kids to pursue this profession?
No, absolutely not. This is a terrible profession. Don't anyone do it. Oh, God. No. They will. All of my kids have been to the gym before they've been home. We were born, we went to the gym, then we came home. And they all train, and they'll all be able to beat the world, the biggest, baddest people on the planet. But I hope they don't do it. There is too much luck involved. Skill helps make you need less luck, but it could be a bad decision that derails your career. It could be a good decision that's put you on to the next thing. There's so much that can go wrong that is out of my control stepping into that ring. I wouldn't wish that the fear of failure to be like that for anyone else, especially my kids.
So Sam, for you, it's the difficulty of the profession, not the physical downsides or the head traumas we hear about or injuries or anything like that. That's not why?
No, most of the injuries, the head trauma and all that, it's it's over talked about. Like, it's not that dangerous. It's not, The most dangerous part we do is the weight cut. That is the most dangerous part. People don't even think about the weight cut. The weight cut is terrible. You get hit and the fight's over, and then you heal and you take some time off, and you are constantly checking yourself, making sure your eyes aren't going all wonky or that your memory isn't fading and that you can still speak all right. So we're always watching ourselves, knowing that it is a possibility, but we're not like boxing. We're not like football. We're not even like soccer. We don't get hit that much in the head. We get hit once and the fight's usually over. And so that's a big difference. So I'm not worried. I've had my injuries. I've been cut more than once. I've broken a couple things here and there. And it's never fun, but knowing the success I've had and the success I'm continuously having, I don't regret it for myself, but I've seen so many other really good athletes get that bad decision against them or break their toe or just can't find a fight. And so they're left in limbo for forever. And I've seen that happen too much to really want my kids to be part of it.
Yeah, I love that take. It's so counterintuitive. I mean, you meet a lot of football players who had successful football careers and won't let their children or their sons play football. I played college football. I won't call my career successful, but I played tackle football from third grade all the way through my senior year of college, and I'm encouraging my sons to play tackle football. I think that what I learned through the sport is irreplaceable of other environments where I learned other things. But I just love that. That's such a counter punch that you take on why you won't let your kids pursue it or won't encourage them to pursue it. So sticking with this theme of family, what is being a warrior, because that's what I'm calling you, in the cage, and a family man have in common? What do you have to separate? So many parents teach their kids to stay out of fights. I don't teach my kids to stay out of fights. I teach my kids just not to start fights. They're allowed to finish a fight as long as they weren't the one that started it. But how do you balance this career that you've chosen with parenting?
I've just combined everything. Like I said, my kids are with me at the gym every day. Even now, the oldest is 12 and the youngest is 3, and they go to the gym with me every day. They see me lifting weights every day. They see me running. They see every part of it, and they try to make themselves a part of it with me. And so we are just a gym family, and it's always been the case. My wife is now becoming a midwife, and she's almost through all of that. But because she's doing that, you don't know when the pregnancy is going to come. In the middle of the night, she gets that call, so now all the kids are on me more than they used to be, and so they get to go with me then. We just find a way to make it all one happy, cohesive family, and it's worked really well. And my kids are a good sport about all of it. Like me, I never know where I'm going to be, when I'm going to be there, because just the name of the game. My kids are cool with that. They're happy. So, all right, we're going to go to grandma's now. Sorry, we're going to grandma's now. We just find a way, and we wouldn't know it any other way. We're probably busier than most families because of my career, now my wife's career too. And my kids just adapt. They just love it and have a good time with it. They smile almost as much as I do.
What do you think the biggest takeaways for them are? What do you think that your example for them, your career for them is influence? How is it influencing them?
So I had a couple sayings growing up that my parents told me religiously. My dad he'd ask me, what does can't mean? The answer to the question is, can't means I don't want to. There is nothing I can't do. There's plenty of things I don't want to do, but there's absolutely nothing I can't do. And so my kids are very much, you could ask any one of them, what does can't mean? Say, I don't want to. Like they believe that's the definition of the word, and that there's nothing they can't do. They understand that if they want to do it, they have to do it. They have to dedicate themselves to it. If they want to get good at Little League, if they want to get good at this, they've got to do it. They've got to put in the work. They see I don't just go into the cage or the pit without training. They see that all day, every day, I am training to make sure I can do it. Now that I live in Tennessee and not California, for about a month of my camp, I've got to go away. I've got to go out and I've got to train full time where there's people more my size. It didn't used to be a problem, but then I got bigger and now nobody's my size. So I gotta go where the fighters are. And they just see the amount of work that goes into being good at something, and they're really taking it on their own. And it's fun. So my second oldest, the one who went to Australia at 2 weeks old, he loves chess, and I've always loved chess too. The kid almost beat me the other day. He's only 10. It's like, oh, like he bought a book and he read about how to play chess, and he's like doing stuff, and as I do it, he's actually calling out. I don't know what the moves are called, and he knows he's calling out the moves that I'm doing. was like, oh man. So I got to start practicing with my chest a little bit more. My kid, they're teaching themselves instruments, and I'm helping them learn everything they can because I was a band nerd, so I'm doing everything I can to help that. They see if you want to be good, you've got to do the work. There's no excuse that will ever that will ever take away, that will ever be good enough to be a reason as to why you're not good. You have to do the work.
Yeah, you're a man of willpower. I would say the word will is in everything you're saying, drive and all that sort of stuff. And this sort of that answer sort of blends into my next question. You know, our culture has really confused toughness with toxicity. I've written a lot at the Daily Wire about sort of the culture of masculinity or the crisis of masculinity that our culture is going through. Is there such thing as a gentleman fighter? How are you raising specifically your sons differently when it comes to strength, virtue, and responsibility?
They know, and I try and demonstrate as best I can, but my wife is tougher than I am. I said, listen, your main responsibility in this life is make sure in this case, your sisters, your mom are taken care of. Eventually your wife and your daughters. You put them ahead of you at all times. They are the future of the world, and your job is to protect them. We all have duties, and our duty as men is to protect and provide. Their duty as women, that's the part that gets argued about a lot right now. But their duty as women is to be that mother, to be that homemaker, and to be as intelligent as you can to help raise that next generation. And to try and instill among my boys now, I said, listen, they come first. You do everything you can to make sure they are happy and taken care of and safe. And they love it. It's like, it's not a thought. It's just what they do now. They get the doors. They let the kids go in. And they're still kids. They'll fight it with each other every now and then. And they'll whine at each other real hard. But when it comes push come to shove, they know what they're supposed to do, and they do it. The woman comes first, the girl comes first, and I do the best I can to although I do have my shortcomings, to live up to what I'm trying to get them to do as well.
No, nothing you said is controversial on this show. We've talked many times about the distinct roles of men and women. There are things that my wife does on a scale that I'll never aspire to be half of. There are very specific things that my children go to her for, and very specific things they come to me for, and that's because we're innately different in how we react to things, how we respond to things, and all that. So I do appreciate the way that you're raising your boys to hold doors. I'll never apologize for that. I don't think that means the woman's weak. I think that means the man respects the woman. So I love everything you said there.
I want somebody to yell at me for holding the door for him so bad. It's never happened. I live in the South. Everybody's friendly down here. It's like, oh, I want it so bad. Them to complain. What are you holding the door? I want it. Just I don't know that'll ever happen.
So a lot of people complain about things in the public limelight, but when it comes to the act being done for them, they usually react differently. I've never heard a woman not thank someone for holding the door for them, and
yeah.
I do the same when people hold the door for me. Let's talk leadership. How do you go from fighter to business owner and now leadership coach? What's the mission behind the work you're doing now?
So the fighting was the easiest part. That was, I just got to punch a guy in the face and try not to get it. It's the easy part. The business, that takes, that was, I thank God for my wife. She is so good at everything she does. I mean, you're talking to me, you should be talking to her. She's the real interesting one of the two of us. But we started a food truck together, and it was something we'd all talked about. We used to watch the Great Food Truck Race, and we just loved it. And we almost I've been on so many TV shows because I can say, I'm in the UFC, I've got a big following, I've got this or that, and shows just want us on. We almost got on the Great Food Truck Race years ago now, for no other reason other than I said I was in the UFC, and we never lied, but we exaggerated how much experience we had cooking. And it was between us and one other people, and they went the other way. Thank God, because now that we've run one, we would have been way over our head. But because of that, almost getting, I said, this is something we want to do. So I left the UFC. I had, what I made with the UFC, and we could either burn through that forever or we could start something ourselves. Said, you want to start it? And said, okay, let's do it. So we started with a little food truck, and we quickly found out we needed something bigger. So then we got something real big, and it was probably bigger than we needed, but we were doing real well with it. And we were profitable pretty quick. We're not super profitable. We're making money as we're learning the ins and outs. And it's been it's been fun learning how to do it with her, learning how to get signed up, where to get signed up, the price to pay. It's taken so much effort to learn everything, both the cooking and the business side of it. But we're finally on a way that we think we can do it well, and we have been doing it well. Then go ahead.
Yeah, that's what I want to hear about next. Tell me about the leadership.
Yeah, then the leadership thing. I hear about, I listen to, they'll call them red pill podcasts, even though I don't think a lot of them are. I do like the whatever podcast. It's more fun than anything. And they'll call it red pill, but I listen and they're not saying anything controversial. They're just saying it to people that want to complain about stuff. And then I listen to the actual red pill stuff, the Andrew Tates. And I just can't stand that man. He has a generation of kids thinking he is what is strong. And he's just a weak, immoral man. And it truly bothered me. So I have started within the last year, I said, I may not have as much money as Tate because I'm not willing to prostitute women. If I was, I'd be rolling in it, but I'm not. I can be me, and it turns out I'm a decent person. I'm a better kickboxer than he ever was, and I think I speak more eloquently than he does. And if I can just show some young men, he might have the bigger audience forever, but if I can get through to a couple of them, so you don't need to do that. You do not need to view women as less than you. They are a partnership with you. You are something you are to cherish and love, and vice versa. If I can do that for any person, I might as well try. I have the platform to do it. Instagram's not gonna do anything for me just sitting there. So I have a way I can speak with people, and I'm gonna do everything I can to try and bring who might have been red pilled into the light, and just let them know you can have the supermodel wife, you can have the career that brings you around the world, you can have the 6 kids, and you can have just that and be the happiest man on the earth.
Yeah, and I've dived into some of your stuff on Instagram. It fires me up. I've watched it before the gym a couple times, and there's an extra rep or two in the tank after I see those videos. So I'm grateful for it. Andrew Tate's evil. He's come up on this show multiple times. Mm-hmm. He is the antithesis of masculinity and everything that we promote here, everything that you promote. The word I use to describe him is insecure. I just think he is an insecure man that's looking for outlets to make himself feel better about himself. So I appreciate that men like you, shows like this are proving that there is a true avenue to virtue in the world, and it's through us and not that. Andrew Tate is not the transition I saw to my faith question, but maybe he is the best transition because he could probably use a little faith in his life. But you are a man of great faith, but you're in this sport of dominance and aggression. How has your faith shaped your mentality inside and outside of the cage? What's prayer like before you fight? Are you praying for protection, for victory, or for your opponent?
I never want to pray for victory. I always add, hey, if you want me to win, I'm happy to take you up on that. But it's not victory I'm praying for. I'm just praying, let me go out there and do what I know I can do. Let me perform to the highest of my ability. I think the highest of my ability is better than his, and I would like that opportunity. And I always do a group prayer or a team prayer. But then I ask anyone in my locker room. I said, hey guys, tonight we're all on the same team. We're blue corner, red corner, whatever we are. If you would like to pray, come on, and if you don't want to pray, don't worry about it. When I fought in South Dakota, I'll bet you I had 40 people circle up with me. I mean, it was like the locker room's clear. It's like, oh, I was more nervous to make sure my prayer for everyone was a good one than I was the fight. And they all circled up, and there were some Brazilians in there, Portuguese, so they had translators, translating in their ear as I was praying, and it was such a fun experience. And now I'll get DMs from people from years ago who I don't remember, but they were in the locker room with me at a chicken coop kind of fight. And they'll go in there and they'll say, or they'll DM me and say, Sam, I remember years ago you did this, and I just thank you for that. It just lightens my day every time I get a message like that. I always joke. People ask, why do you smile so much? I say, Google my wife. The real answer is, I know the good Lord's got my back. It doesn't mean I'm going to win, but it means if I lose, it's because it's not my time to win. He's got something else in store for me. In the UFC, I've got the longest not winning streak in history outside of Tony Ferguson. I had a draw in there, and I think I won a lot of those fights. The stupid judges, but had I won 2 or 3 more, if I didn't have that record, I would still be with the UFC. I would still be a 500 fighter. I would still be doing well, but not well enough to be anything special. I wouldn't have been in karate combat. I wouldn't have been able to take a step away and join this new league. I left the UFC because of that. And, you're devastated. I think I've got a post out there where it was like post-fight. I was trying my best not to cry, but I was just hit pretty hard. It's like, oh guys, I'm sorry. Good Lord's plan is, he swore to God he had something for me. He said, all right, we're going to do this now. And now he put me in karate combat, which is probably the second biggest league in the world. And I'm not a champ. I'm a 2-time champ. I'm allowed to commentate. I'm allowed to do this. I have a bigger platform now than I ever did with the UFC because of karate combat, because of what I'm doing in this new sport. And you don't see it at first. You're blind as with the loss and this and that. I've got to come up with the new. And then he opens the door closes. He opens the window for you. And every loss I had, I'd lean back into him. Say, all right, Lord, whatever you need me to do, I'm here for it. And right now he's got me doing this with karate combat, and it gives me the opportunity to try and counter the Andrew Tates a little bit better than I would have before. Before I would have been a no-name fighter in the UFC. Now I'm the greatest karateka to maybe have ever lived, Chuck Norris excluded. And people get so caught up in their inability to see what's coming tomorrow. And it just take a second, lean back into him, smile about it, and just know he's got you. It will, what's the saying? It was another thing my mom always said, don't sweat the small stuff, and it's all small stuff. It's exactly it. I lose. She cussed. Don't smell. She cussed when she said it, but I'll clean it up. Don't sweat the small stuff. Yeah. And that's just been me my entire career. I love what I do. I know the good Lord's got my back. Whenever it's time for me to move on, I'll move on because he guides me that way. And I will do the best I can to help others do the same thing. I will be the best tool for the good Lord that I can be.
I'll sum up your answer in 4 words. God has a plan. And I think that we need to surrender ourselves more to his plan. Sometimes it feels in the moment like it's the greatest plan in the world, and sometimes it feels like it's the worst plan in the world. But a little bit of long-term gratification goes a long way, and we've all struggled with that at times. And prayer always sort of centers me back into not just the moment, but sort of the greatest picture and what's come before, and what I don't know will come, but I know will come. I don't know what it'll be, but I know there's more there, and it's God's plan, and we're just living it. The old saying is, we have a plan and God laughs. And I think that, your answer is a great example of someone who's sort of gone through his plan, and it's continued to work out for you. Although, like a chart of the stock market, there's ups, there's downs, there's ups, there's downs, but as point A and point B can still look like that. So I love that. So let's talk about America. To me, MMA, UFC is like the best representation of America. It's sort of this melting pot of fighting styles. It's even a melting pot of ethnicities. You have people from all backgrounds, races, countries, and whatnot. Professional fighting brings 2 opponents against each other under a system of agreed upon rules. The Octagon might be the best example of the free market system I've ever seen in the world. Talk to me about America and your love of this country, and what role has freedom played in shaping your career?
America has proven itself to be the most open and success-breeding in the history of the world. It just has. And it's like, you can't argue it hasn't. There is no other system that does it. That America doesn't care how much work you put in. It's the eventual success. They might throw you bad. You might get that parking ticket, or you might get the whatever. You might fail, but they will give you the opportunity to come back in. MMA, there's no guarantee. I put in all the hours in the gym. I put in twice as much as the next guy. It doesn't mean I'm going to win. It means I'm setting myself up for success, and then I got to perform still. And that is America. There are no excuses when I lose. There are no excuses. And I have to take that loss, and I have to rebuild. I have to come up with what I want to be my end goal, and I've got to find a way to do it. I need to reassess that. And America is the way. is like that in a grand scheme of things. It doesn't matter how you succeed or if you fail, you have to keep going forward. You have to pick yourself up, make the changes, and go for the excuses. Don't matter. Excuses aren't going to change the scorecards. Excuses aren't going to change your bank account. You have to, if you're willing to say, I only lost that because no, it doesn't matter. You lost that. My karate combat, my first title defense, it was down in close to Cancun, and I broke my foot 20 minutes before the fight. I was in the locker room and I stepped wrong and foot was broken. And I was hoping the adrenaline was going to kick in and I was going to be okay for 20 minutes. Yeah. But I told my team knew what happened. And they said, do you want to pull? I said, I'm not pulling. I'm in the main event. I'm not going to pull. But I said, listen, if I lose this fight, you don't tell a soul I broke my foot. You don't tell anybody. If I win, when I win, you tell everybody. You make sure everybody knows. And I went into that fight knowing if I lose, I am not setting myself up to have an excuse. The excuse doesn't matter. I'm accepting every risk that was coming down here and doing what I'm going to do. And I went out there and I actually got headbutted, which is against the rules, knocked the stuffing out of me. Fight was called. We rematched a while later and I beat him up. But so God's plan was I was going to get headbutted that time. Who would have thought God would have that plan in store for somebody? But that was it. That is what America gives you the opportunity. They give you the opportunity. They do not guarantee the success.
I love that. So we're going to end with a lightning round, a few questions. You may have already taken my first question. I was going to ask you the craziest injury you've ever fought through. Was it the broken foot?
Yeah, crazy stuff. I've had a couple bad ones, but that one was 20 minutes. I had an influencer friend of mine. He was cornering me, so he was actually filming stuff, and he actually caught the break, which was kind of nice because then I could show you I'm not making it up. It broke right there. But yeah, that was. I've had some gnarly injuries, but that was definitely the craziest.
And you may have taken my second one with the headbutt. What's the hardest you've ever been hit?
I'm not going to say the headbutt. The headbutt changed my mind on self-defense. If ever I'm held at gunpoint, I'm just headbutting people. I'm not swinging. But Dan Henderson, he hits harder than anyone has. He is the man. He's never knocked me out, but he's friggin' tried.
All right, so the hardest hit you ever took wasn't a knockout.
That wasn't a knockout. It was, all right, knock it off. And he always I pulled my punch. You kind of went into it. So, yeah, bullshit.
All right, if you had to fight one historical figure, who would it be and why?
One historical figure. You know what? Maybe not fight, but I'd like to wrestle Lincoln. Everyone says he was a stud, and I want to test myself against the best.
He's sitting right here over my shoulder. We can ask him.
With respect, Mr. Lincoln. Let's wrestle.
Oh, that's hilarious. A Lincoln wrestling match. I didn't see that coming. All right, last one. Pre-fight ritual.
I say my prayer every time. I've got a stretch I do with my wife, and so you got to stretch out. But the pre-fight prayer with everybody in the room. It's not just my team. It's anybody that can hear my voice. I invite them all, and we just have a good time with it. And we say our thanks. We ask for our the help to perform like we know we can, and we hope for a good fight.
All right, man. Well, look, I got out of here unscathed. Luckily, I'm smiling like I've never smiled before. Smilen Sam Alvey, thanks for coming on We the People.
Oh, you are so welcome. Thank you for having me on, my friend.
We the people. Why you quiet? It's time to stand up for the truth. How they coming for our kids, so who gon' stand up for the youth? Ay, and we know we win because Yeshua is the proof. Ay, we the people like Gates Garcia, so that's no excuse.